Hi Capricorn, I hope you guys are doing great. Welcome to your general messages for July 8th through the 14th. These are general messages, guys. Try not to make them fit. If they don't fit, check your rising sun, moon, sun, and Venus for the most complete messages. As I always say, and remember, the messages could always be vice versa. I am linking the astrology video that I did for this week in the description box below. I recommend that you check it out if you're interested in learning about what it means for Chiron to be retrograde. We're going to be dealing with that transit from July 11th through December 15th. All right, but for now, we're going to pull a Celtic cross, interpret it for relationship, career, whatever comes up. Pull some qualifiers as we go along. But then at the end, we're going to do a relationship only, adding it in as an extension, okay? So let's pull these guys, and then we'll throw some astro dice, pull an astro card, and see what is crack-a-lackin' for our Capricorn friends. Nine of Swords, Judgment, Justice, nice. Priestess, good. Nine of Coins, Princess of Coins, Wands. Okay. Okay, Empress reverse. Okay. Okay, we have Pisces 11th house, and we have, oh my gosh, everybody's getting Mars. This is so funny. And Mars is going to be very in our faces between July and January, actually January 6th. I'm not going to do that video, though, until September, until Mars goes retrograde. But this energy is about leaning into the conflict and figuring out what is wrong with something that's going on in your life. What's wrong with that job? What's wrong with that relationship, that friendship, that family connection? And remember, while you're figuring this out, that anger is a normal response to any kind of transgressions. And you need to work with the facts of a situation towards what's right, rather than the need to win, but working really with the facts. And less with how you feel, right? But that there is this idea of really needing to get in touch with something that is that's out of sync, that's not working. It's not working. And then we have the Pisces energies. Pisces is all about, you know, it being time to check out in order to check in, and it's time to feel instead of figuring out. This is not a time to try to get over a pain, get over a disappointment, get over feeling disillusioned about something. You know, it's not like a get over kind of energy, but instead really more like moving alongside, as I always say, with your emotions without judging or assessing their significance, or if you're supposed to feel like this, or if it's worth feeling like this. It's not that kind of energy. You have to feel it, right? And figure out a way that is comfortable for you, a healthy way to distract yourself in this energy. So you're feeling the energy, but do it in a healthy way where you're not distracting yourself in any sort of, because Pisces is that 12th house energy about escapism. So you want to make sure that while you're dealing with any sort of disappointment, any sort of disillusionment, anything like that, that you're escaping in a healthy way is really what you want to be mindful of. With the Pisces energy. But this does tell me also you may be feeling a lack of clarity while you do this, right? Because Pisces is ruled by Neptune. And as I always say, Neptune is like trying to look at reality through a dirty window, right? And then we have the 11th house. So the 11th house has to do with our friendship connections, right? So you're being asked to cultivate some healthy emotional detachment about something that's been muddied with sentimentality. You don't want to get stuck in how something should have played out, and you need to be willing to try something new, because this indicates an opportunity for a total 180 in some part of your life that's been really stagnant, but you can't be afraid to make the change and shake it up and do something different. Okay, so there is this idea of doing something different and dealing with something in your life that is out of sync, not in sync with what it is that you really want for yourself. So that could be career, that could be relationship, friendship, family connection. Saturn. Yeah, listen, Saturn. Good old Saturn. Yeah. Saturn is about structure and hard work and delay and karma and things, something needing to come to pass, but in a very structured and organized way. I mean, this is, Saturn is your ruler, right? It's all about putting in that hard work in order to make change in something, but in a very specific way. So let's see what that means for you guys. So from in the past, we had this Knight of Coins energy. So this could be yesterday, last week, last month, last year, right? Tarot doesn't understand man-made time, doesn't get it, right? So the Knight of Pentacles is a Leo and Virgo energy. And I like these two energies together because this indicates to me that, for example, if this has to do with career, you were doing something that really resonated with you, because Virgo is a coin energy and it's an earthy energy. It's a coin energy. It's ruled by Mercury. And Leo is the landlord of the house of fun, the fifth house of fun, which is ruled by the sun. And that's where any sort of entrepreneurial activities we find any sort of entrepreneurial activities, things that we really do because we love to do them. So also the house of our children, and our children are beings that we bear them, we cultivate them, we nurture them, we grow them, right? And it's very energetically, it's very similar when we have our own business too, which is why whenever I get the Knight of Coins energy, I always think about that. Somebody who, takes something that they really love and they turn it into work, and they end up making it a job for themselves. So that's for career. This tells me that that's where you were in the past. If it has nothing to do with that, and this has to do with relationship, Leo is also the fifth house of fun, is also about love affairs, is about boyfriend-girlfriend relationships. It's also about how we connect with our partners, regardless of whether they're casual or married and serious, how we connect on a Monday through Sunday basis. What is our communication like? What do we do for a good time? What do we, and this tells me though that you were in a space in the past where you felt very connected to this person. You guys had, what it took, in a very practical, pragmatic, earthy way, you thought to be a really, really good connection. Now, the current situation right now, we have the Nine of Swords, which is the 3 a.m. card. This is anxiety, this is depression, intrusive thoughts, right? Venus and Virgo. Mars and Gemini. And Mars is that warrior planet. It's a ruler of Aries, and it's trying to figure out this new path, this new perspective, but it's doing it in the light of some information that's come in light of some reality that you're working with, right? So it ends up creating this kind of ruminating sort of thoughts that, can interrupt your sleep, interrupt your day, and it can certainly create anxiety, a certain level of depression, where you're in this space of, it can be an all-consuming kind of energy, keeping it real. And then we have judgment, though, crossing it. So you're very confused about you forgiving somebody for something, or the transitioning of something. And let me be more clear on that, because the judgment energy is always towards forgiveness. It doesn't necessarily mean, and it's towards forgiveness and healing. But it doesn't always mean staying in something, if that makes sense, because the judgment energy is telling me that, first of all, you're viewing your role in a relationship, in a job, in that family connection, that friendship, whatever it is that you're here with on your heart. Your role you see as you having done the best that you very possibly could have with what you were given. And you forgiving yourself if you dropped the ball at any point, or if maybe you didn't act 100% in the way now in reflection that you were supposed to. But there's a level of forgiving yourself and knowing that you did do the best that you were able to do, as well as whoever it is that you're involved with. So, and that's what I mean by there's healing and forgiveness here. And if you're forgiving someone else for some sort of transgression, it's only out of self-love for yourself, and not staying trapped in this idea of needing to hold on to this bitterness, hate, or any sort of negative emotion that you might feel regarding that relationship, regarding that job, that friendship, whatever it is. And you making the decision to let that go. Because this is a Pluto energy, and Pluto is about transformation. So it's about an ending with a simultaneous new beginning. And you can't have a new beginning in any kind of healthy way without that initial release. But you're having a hard time with this. This is not an easy energy for you, because we have the Nine of Swords energy. So it's struggling to bring yourself to that higher plane of existence, to the point of being able to forgive and let go, to just move past something, to let something go, because they do see that you were in a very positive space in your mind with that person, that relationship, that career, whatever it was. Crowning you now, we have the Justice energy. What's fair, what's not fair? Now, Justice is a Libra energy. Libra is the 7th house of relationships. It's not only marital relationships, it's also business partnerships and anyone that we have a shared soul purpose with. So this can certainly be a very close friend, a close family member, colleagues, employees, employers, where we have a shared soul purpose. There's a shared intention. You know what I mean? That's that 7th house energy. Justice, though, the glyph is Libra, and the glyph for Libra is scales. How fair is this? And it's ruled by the trifecta of Venus. Venus is that beautiful trifecta of, it is a money planet, it's a planet of love as well, and also our self-esteem and how we value, right? It's value of self, value for other things, right? That's Venus. So it's value, love, and money, right? So how fair has this situation been regarding all of those 3 elements? Do you feel good about being in this connection right now, in the relationship, in the career? How are you feeling? Do you feel like things are being handled fairly and equitably? Having to do with money. Are you being paid the money that you're supposed to be paid? Are you making the money that you'd like to be made? Are you being treated with respect and fairly in this business situation, in this relationship? And it's really, justice is on the mind, because it's crowning. But we have you doing some deep thinking, Sagittarius, because the High Priestess is the moon energy, and the moon is I feel. And I see you doing some serious thinking in your mind about a situation, and you're really not talking to anybody about it, and I don't blame you. Now, if this has to do with a relationship, this can indicate you feeling certain things about a relationship that you're not communicating, or it can mean you and your partner handling things under the radar in your relationship from friends, family, and people outside of you. You guys trying to work on the relationship in a certain way in private. So a lot of times what can end up happening here in this energy is, let's say you guys are in a relationship and you broke up and you decide to get back together, and there ends up being this sort of cyclical nature to your relationship where maybe you've done that a couple of times. And when we get the High Priestess energy, as far as relationship goes, this could be you guys trying to work on the relationship privately and not letting anybody know about it, not letting anyone know yet that you guys are giving it another go, right? Because your friends and family are like, why are you doing this to yourself? Why do you keep trying? It's not right. That kind of thing. That's going to resonate with some of you. For others of you, this can be a very deep introspective space of you trying to figure out what you really want to do with this relationship. You're really not sure what to do with your feelings, and you're not really talking about it. And again, this is not a good energy to talk about it to anyone right now. The danger here, though, is, and I always say this with any moon related energy, the moon is great, but it's not always based in reality, right? I mean, even as the dynamic between the sun and the moon are not always a clear indicator of what's happening in the 3D reality. It's only in a certain way, a certain frame, a certain reflections, a certain angle of seeing things, right? Because what happens with the moon energy, even though it's great, it's our internal processing. It's us, and I know a lot of people get confused about this because I get emails about it. There is such a thing as us going unchecked in our own mind, where there's no one there to say, oh, guess what, Capricorn, maybe you're not thinking about that in the most honest way. Maybe you're not looking at that through the clearest lens, Maybe your subjective perception is a little off of something. I'm not saying that this is the reality, but this is the danger in any kind of moon energy, is that there's no one in our head to check us. So that is the danger when it comes to, trusting our intuition is great, but we always want to make sure that we have a foot set in reality based on things that actually happen and not only what we're feeling. We have to be careful of feelings, right? Because feelings aren't always real. And they're not always based in reality, even though they're real to us. It doesn't always make them true. I didn't mean to labor about that, but it was worth mentioning because there is a lot of confusion in that regarding people regarding how people understand this energy. Is a lot of people think, yeah, I'm in my high priestess mode and that's it, I'm all about. Well, you got to be careful of that, because sometimes we may not be 100% accurate in our perception. So while the high priestess is really great in that we are listening to our inner voice and our inner self, and a lot of people are like, yeah, but isn't that where the truth lies? If we're trying to watch out for us and listening to that intuition, yes, but you want to make sure that what you're feeling is based on and off of reality and not some sort of past fear that you're unintentionally and subconsciously projecting onto a relationship, a career opportunity, anything like that. All right, just a little caveat there. Something to be mindful of. Right now, you're the Four of Wands energy. You're very focused. Venus in Aries, you're very focused on a firm foundation, and loving what you do on this next leg of your journey. No question. That's exactly what this means, Venus in Aries. Loving this you want to love what you're doing in this next chapter of your life. You want to love it. You want it to bring you, you want to feel the passion, but you also need it to make you feel stable, not only financially, but just in your life in general. And you're very, very focused on that. Very focused. And lucky Capricorn is that you have the King of Cups as the external energy here. Are you kidding? Aquarius and Pisces, man. I don't care how we interpret this. This is very positive. If we're going to look at this as, first of all, it's a court card. So we have to understand this as another person, not you, in this position, because this is you. So either as a person or general influence. If this has to do with career, this is someone coming in and offering you a job that's different than what you're doing. All right? Beautiful, beautiful energy. Beautiful. It's Libra and Scorpio. So Scorpio is about transformation. And, so it's something ending and something beginning. And it's got that Libra energy too, right? So it's Libra and Scorpio. So Libra is ruled by Venus, that beautiful trifecta that I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, where you're going to be getting the money that you want, that you need. You're going to feel really good about yourself in it. You're going to love what you're doing. And this is all about transformation. Somebody coming in offering that to you, or you just being really energetically surrounded by the potential of you getting into something like that. And I do feel like you have some ideas cooking that are going to be very benefic for you, where you're really allowing yourself to go there, which is really, really good. If this has to do with a relationship, this can be somebody coming in and offering you their cup. This is somebody who you're very sexually attracted to, because it's Scorpio. It's Libra and Scorpio does rule sex. So you're very attracted to them. But this is a serious energy. Because again, Libra is that 7th house of serious relationships. Serious. It's not Leo, where Leo's a little more of the love affair, kind of thing. Libra's more serious. So I do see this as being a very serious offering of a person coming in, or you being in a space where you're very open to that energy at this point, and you're ready and with bells and whistles on to greet that energy coming in. We have to understand it as both, because it is a court card. Now, your fear here is the moon reverse. Everything that I said about the high priestess with the moon, right? How we don't have anybody there to check ourselves because we're keeping it on, under wraps. This is why I love the moon reverse. Because the great thing about the moon reverse is whatever you're feeling inside, whatever is under the surface is going to be coming to the surface. You can't keep it in anymore, but that's a little scary for you, because you're being made to reevaluate something in your life, something that you've gone through. And it's not comfortable, and it's a little scary. And guys, that's what you're going to be going through right now. There's a lot of beautiful change going on for you guys. You guys in Cancer for sure, absolutely. So it's these emotions are going to be rising up to the surface, and they can be pretty scary, because the reality is, the outcome here is you're realizing that there's just not going to be growth in something. Something is not going to be growing that you've been involved in. And you're very set on this new energy that's coming in. So whatever you were struggling with this anxiety, this nine of swords card that you're releasing, there's not going to be growth in it. But it's a process for you to get to that point of recognizing that that's got to be let go of. That can't be fixed. There's no growth there. The Empress is the mother of the tarot, right? She's perpetually pregnant. It's all about cultivating and nurturing and growing something, and just keep growing, and for it to keep happening and growing, right? And in reverse, it's not happening. The opportunity is just not there. So for some of you, very directly, you could be dealing with a partner who is just, for lack of a better term, a little messy right now. A little messy, in their mind, in their space, and they're just not in a good space for there to be this kind of healthy connection. For whatever reason, and for whatever reason, they're just not able to show up. They're just not. If this has to do with the job, it's just there's the ability to grow is just not there. It's been truncated by something for whatever reason, whether it's COVID or maybe it was cooking up prior to that, whatever, it doesn't matter, but it's something that's been taken away. But in the near future, this is where I think this is coming into place, because here we have the Princess of Coins. And again, coins is money, so those of you with a career on your mind, and resources, but it's also mental, emotional, and physical connection. And this is a Leo and Virgo energy. So this does indicate love affairs in a very practical way. This does indicate this is, the act of sex. This is love affairs. This is connecting with a partner on, again, Monday through Sunday kind of way, and it's just in a way that's fun. And there's this beautiful lightness and newness to it, but in a very practical way. If it has to do with a relationship, if this has to do with career, this is you really loving what you're doing. Loving what you're doing. Again, Leo and Virgo. Loving what you're doing, and you're making money at it. Very benefic energy for those of you who are planning on getting into your own thing. Really. Beautiful. Beautiful energy. Those of you planning on that. I love it. That fifth house energy, loving what you're doing. Feeling very connected to it. So there is going to be this release, but I feel like this release, this recognition is not new. Because it's in the situation right now. I feel like in the past you were doing something that you were really connected to, you really loved. But the situation right now is you got to heal, and you're really trying to deal with some sort of anxiety, depression, imbalance, whatever it is, because you're recognizing that something is not going to continue the way it was, that relationship, that job, whatever it is. You're going to be very pensive, doing some serious thinking, but because you're very focused on bringing yourself a firm foundation, it's like energetically you're going to be calling this King of Cups energy into you. And you're going to be very honest with yourself. So I love that we got the High Priestess as the foundation, and then in your fear we got the Moon. Because that's not easy for anybody. To look at the moon stuff, to bring it up, to look at it and say, you know what? Keeping it in is not going to do me any good. I have to let it out. I have to be really honest with myself about this situation, because not being honest with me is not going to bring me anything. If I keep doing what I did, I'm going to keep getting what I got. And you're ready now for this Princess of Coins energy. So I really like that. I really do. Let's pull a Rebel Oracle for some closing advice. And then we'll go into an extended read for more love messages, if you're resonating with this as love. But let's pull a Rebel Oracle, a Capricorn friends. Going beyond normal. Oh, I haven't gotten this in a while. I love this card. Going beyond normal, yeah. And this is a time, for kind of for you to throw caution to the wind, right? Because there is a time and a place for logic and strategy and planning and very measured outcomes. And these are not bad tools and, to have, but we have to be vigilant to not worship them or allow them to end up squashing our valuable decision makings that would be like our intuition and our feeling and the things that we just kind of know without knowing exactly how we know them. So you're really being asked here in this energy to stay open to the intuitive approach in your life and your work, your creativity, as well as in your spiritual journey. So I really like this for you, especially because we got the High Priestess, which is all about your intuition. But I love that we got that with the Moon reverse. So even though you're scared, you're being really honest with yourself about something. So I think this is really, really great. And you might have pressures around you from the world or from your own conditioned nature to do things according to the rules, to a deadline, that's a very Capricorn way, or to the accepted mainstream view that you need a well thought out plan for success in a commercial venture. But sometimes the best plan is to do what feels intuitively truthful in the moment, right? and to just really trust that you're being led towards your own growth. Adopting this approach means that you have to do a lot less planning and a lot more living. You know, it's a pure heart-centered way to manifest something that you're trying to bring into fruition in your life. So don't be afraid, you know, really don't be afraid. Kind of really lean into it and allow this energy to really drive the car right now. You know, your intuition that's based though in some sort of honesty that's surrounding you right now. So I do like that. Okay, my friends, that if you are here for just career or other messages other than love, that is what I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. But let's pull some extra energies for those of you in a space of love, or at least needing some information, validation, whatever it is, having to do with something in the love space. Okay. Bring these over there. We're going to do a heart oracle, island time wellness, and a landscape tarot in the upright for additional messages. So let's see what we get. Retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. Children. Your love life is being affected by children. For yourself, it's time to take back control of your life. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you romantically more attractive. So the children could be either if you guys are together and maybe are you agreeing on having children, not agreeing on having children. Maybe you guys are trying to work something out because of a pregnancy or because of kids, or there being this issue over children in a divorce situation or some sort of separation situation. Not enough. Snake. Coffee cup. The Grim Reaper. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you're allowing something to just be over. Knight of Wands. The World. Seven of Swords. Three of Cups. I like it. I see somebody new coming in for you, somebody that you're very, very attracted to. Very attracted to, and somebody who has long staying power. I'm like getting to the punch. I want to talk about the positive before the challenges, okay? And you being able to draw lines in the sand of what it is that you want, need, and desire. You really being ready to defend what it is that you want. You've been through it. You have been through it. You have been through a Capricorn. You are not dealing with the bullshit anymore. You're just not allowing it. But I like we have the Three of Cups energy here. This is great. This is Mercury in Cancer. This is being able to communicate about what you want, what you need to feel safe, to feel secure, to feel loved. It is, Cancer is that fourth house energy of home, of roots, of emotions, of feeling. This is somebody who knows how to communicate, and you're just very, very attracted to them. Now to want Scorpio and Sagittarius. I mean, come on now. Scorpio is the sign of sex. Sagittarius is about moving forward with integrity, but also being able to have this luck and expansion in this relationship because it is Sagittarius, right? And the World is the most positive card in the deck. Just is. It's a Saturn energy. Saturn is long. Saturn is solid. Solid, solid, solid. Beautiful, beautiful energy. Now, I feel like that's going to come, could be happening now. That could be that energy, right, that we were talking about. But I feel like there was a time where, now you may be in a space where you want to go with this energy and kind of disconnect from the world, where you're retreating. You just sort of need a little escape. Right? You see the couples kind of going off into the woods and they're like, bye everybody. We need to be by ourselves for a minute. But I do feel like for a lot of you, I'm getting this stronger than anything else. Some of you may be dealing with a divorce or a situation where there's a separation and you're needing to address the circumstances surrounding children, be it child support, be it visitation, you know, whatever it is like that. But there could be this idea of children at play here. This could also be the idea that maybe you're with somebody who didn't want to have children and now this other person does one. Free yourself, though. It's time to take back control of your life. Guys, that's so the Seven of Swords energy. It really is. The Seven of Swords is all about being in control of your own land. Being in control of your own life. That's really what it's about. And like unapologetically drawing a line in the sand about what you want, need, and desire. And that's exactly what this free yourself energy is. And love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. So what I like about this is I feel like you've been through something super heavy and you just have taken all of the lessons you have. You've taken all the lessons because the reality is that relationship over. No second chances. It is time to grow and transform your life in a different direction. We have this idea of not enough, frustrated in relationship, lack of confidence, self-sabotage, fear, ego issues, jealousy. This was not a healthy connection that you were in initially. Then we have the snake, competition, enemy, clever, malicious, looking over your shoulder, the other woman. Or other man, right? I mean, however, there's no gender really, but that sneaky energy having been an issue there, right? And then we have coffee cup, meeting, conversing, savoring the moment, friendship, feeling uplifted. So this is really about, you know, something going on in relationship, Capricorn, where you knew it had to end and you leaned on your friends. You leaned on your friends. You found love for yourself. You got into this idea of freeing yourself. I do really like this. I feel like there is this other energy here for sure. Somebody who you're very attracted to. Somebody who has a lot of staying power. I really like this energy. There's good communication here. You're taking a minute and you're just kind of escaping while you're dealing with this other stuff. So that is what I see for the relationship aspect. To me, there is nothing to be mad at here. There's really nothing. I'm sorry that you had to go through this, but if you didn't go through this, I don't feel like you would have this beautiful outcome here. So everything with a purpose, right? Okay, my friends, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful in some way, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.